Okay, here's a little instruction for replacing potentially bad power tap with a new one. So here's what you should currently have. It's the T-shaped connector or cross-shaped connector. So it has the USB plug on the bottom, it has the mod plug on the top, and the input and the output that goes to that plugs into the board. So you will need to disconnect the connector here. The top piece disconnects from this bottom piece right here. It is a little bit hard to pull it out. You have to grip the circuit board pretty good on the sides, and then grip the plastic here tightly and separate them. So I'm going to need two hands to do that. Let's see if I can get that on camera. That's not gonna work. There we go. Okay. So gripping tightly, jiggling a little bit back and forth. I wouldn't be too concerned about breaking the circuit board since that's going to be not used anyway. We're going to put that off to the side and not use that. So you're left with this connector right here, and it should have two pins in it. One on the pointed end is ground, and the one in the middle is the 5 volts. The unused one is 12 volts. This mod does not use that. If this is not configured in this location, then that is a problem, and we'll need to switch out this connector. And you can see here the black is the ground connected to the pointed end. The red is the middle. So now that you have this disconnected, we're gonna see what's going to be the replacement. So here's the replacement. It's got a flexible connector here that gives it more clearance for connecting to alongside other mods on that J116, 117, or 118 connector. We still have the USB because you're going to need that for the sound power. So let me show you that here. So this is the new connector, and all you're going to do is take the new connector. Again, same pins should be populated, and they should match up, and it just slips in with a little pressure and gets there to the bottom. So I'm going to disconnect. I'll leave it there for testing. I'll show you testing. Okay, so here we have this connector here. Now this is feeding the power to the TV. At the end of the black cable, we have this guy here. So this connector has some fins on it, and the one that came with your TV might be a red connector that looks like this one right here, but it's the same. It doesn't have the fins. It has a little wiper there, but it's the same. It's offset, and that will go down on the TV. Okay, so when you plug it in, it'll be facing down, so down towards the bottom. We gotta match it up with the pins there, and it should slip in there. So it's centered in that hole, and moving it up and down, it's tight in there. And it was easy to get in and out. It wasn't forceful. But those fins should go downward. Or if you have this red one here, then this little extra piece should be downward. Okay, so enough about connecting power to the TV. That is as simple as it gets. The USB port here, this is actually for data for a USB drive. So if you wanted to change the video, you would use this USB drive in a computer. You'd be able to change out the video, and then when you next plug this in and power on the mod, it would pull the video off the USB drive. So if you want to keep the mod as it is, then no need to change that. Just leave this out of the TV and do not plug anything into this here. So leave this unused. Next here we have a 3.5mm audio output. So this is for the speakers. So I have some speakers up here. On the speakers you will find a 3.5mm plug there and a USB plug. So this is going to be the audio for the input, and this is going to be the power input. So what we're going to do is, I believe I included a extension for your audio. I don't have one on hand, but you'll just plug in your extension here, which I believe you already have routed. It should plug in all the way, and then the speaker will plug into the extension. So that's it for the TV. The TV is done. That is all hooked up. For the speakers, we already saw how to plug the mod power in right here. The speakers will be plugging into the USB here. This is the only use of this USB port. It is for the speaker power. Sorry, I'm going to have to... Okay, so that should plug in all the way there. That's what it looks like plugged in. So this will be extended down a little bit. You'll need the clearance here. You might have to move around the power to a different connector between J116, 117, 118, just so it gets that clearance. But now you should have some extra clearance on the top. I would recommend doing this without the power to start with, and make sure that the TV gets powered without any additional load. But once that works, you can plug in the speakers. I recommend putting the speakers in the head of the machine right next to this power connector, and this cable is short. That's why it's so short. It was designed to go in the head of the machine right behind the existing speakers. Right, so that is how this USB plug works. That's what it's designed for, is powering the speakers. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into my test. I'm going to plug this into my test power connector. So you'll be plugging this into your machine. I don't have a machine right here to show this working, but I'm going to plug it into the same connector that the machine uses right here. This is just my test fixture, so let's get that plugged in. So here we have the power to the display has turned on. You won't see anything yet. It'll be about 30 seconds for anything to come up. And then once it's ready, it'll start playing videos immediately and loop through them. And it looks like, yep, there it goes. And we even have sound. So the speakers have power. They have the audio coming through the TV.
You're traveling to another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.